Imagine wanting to travel from New York to San Francisco. Today, you drive across America. It takes you 5 or 6 days. But before 1914, there was no Panama Canal. Ships traveling from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean had to sail all the way around South America. The journey took months. The route was dangerous. Ships were
lost to storms. Sailors died. Cargo was damaged. And then a canal was built through the jungles of Panama. The canal cut the journey time from months to a few days. The canal transformed world trade. The canal was built over 30 years through disease, disaster, and sheer determination. This is the story of the Panama Canal and how one
of the world's greatest engineering projects was completed. The idea of a canal through Panama was not new. People had dreamed of it for centuries. In the 1500s, explorers realized that a canal could connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. But the technology to build such a canal did not exist. The jungle was impenetrable. The mountains seemed impossible to cross. The disease was devastating. Malaria and yellow fever killed anyone who tried to work in the jungle. For 3 centuries, the dream of a Panama Canal remained just a dream. But in 1881, a French engineer named Ferdinand de Lesseps decided to try. Lesseps had successfully built the Suez Canal in Egypt. He thought he could build a Panama Canal too. Lesseps gathered workers. He gathered equipment. He brought thousands of workers to Panama, and immediately they started dying. Malaria killed them. Yellow fever killed them. Dysentery killed them. Landslides buried them. Accidents killed them. Over 22,000 workers died during the French attempt to build the canal. The project was a complete disaster. Lesseps failed. The dream seemed impossible. But in 1904, the United States decided to try. President Theodore Roosevelt wanted an American canal. He believed that the canal would benefit American trade. He believed that the canal would benefit American military power. Roosevelt sent workers and equipment to Panama. He sent engineers. He sent doctors. Most importantly, he appointed a military officer named John Stevens to be in charge of the project. Stevens was determined. He realized that the first step was not to dig. The first step was to stop the disease. Stevens brought doctors to Panama. The doctors discovered that mosquitoes spread malaria and yellow fever. Stevens ordered all standing water to be removed. Swamps were drained. Gutters were cleaned. Windows were screened. Mosquito breeding grounds were eliminated. The disease was not completely eliminated. Workers still died from malaria and yellow fever, but the death rate dropped dramatically. With the disease problem partially under control, work on the canal could proceed. The workers began to excavate. They dug through rock. They dug through mud. They removed millions of tons of earth and rock. They used explosives. They used steam shovels. The work was backbreaking. It was physically exhausting. Workers labored in the tropical heat. They labored in mud and rain. They labored in horrible conditions. But slowly, the canal was built. The canal would not be a simple ditch connecting the 2 oceans. That would have been impossible because of the elevation differences. The 2 oceans are not at the same level. The Atlantic and Pacific Oceans are separated by mountains. A simple sea-level canal would have required cutting through solid rock at impossible heights. The engineers designed a system of locks instead. Locks are gates that raise and lower water. A ship entering the canal would be raised by locks to a higher level. The ship would travel across Gatun Lake, which was created as part of the canal system. Then the ship would be lowered by locks on the other side. The system was ingenious. It solved the elevation problem. It allowed ships to pass through the mountains. The creation of Gatun Lake was itself an enormous undertaking. The Panama River was dammed. Water collected behind the dam. The lake formed. Gatun Lake became one of the largest artificial lakes in the world. The creation of the lake required moving millions of tons of earth and rock. The creation of the lock system required incredible precision. Each lock was massive. Each lock weighed thousands of tons. Each lock had
to operate perfectly. Any mechanical failure could stop the entire canal. The work continued year after year. Thousands of workers labored in the tropical heat. Workers came from all over the world. There were American workers. There were Caribbean workers. There were European workers. They worked together to build the canal. They faced disease. They faced accidents. They faced difficult
conditions, but they persisted. The canal slowly took shape. By 1914, the canal was ready. On August 15, 1914, the first ship passed through the Panama Canal. The ship was a steam shovel named the Ancon. The Ancon passed through the locks. The Ancon traveled across Gatun Lake. The Ancon exited the canal into the Pacific Ocean. The canal was operational. The Panama Canal was a triumph of engineering. It was completed ahead of schedule. It was completed under budget. The canal used innovative engineering techniques that had never been tried before. The lock system was revolutionary. The creation of Gatun Lake was revolutionary. The entire project demonstrated that humans could accomplish seemingly impossible engineering feats. The Panama Canal inspired engineers around the world. It showed what was possible with determination and innovation. The canal transformed world trade. Ships no longer had to sail around South America. The journey from the Atlantic to the Pacific was reduced from months to days. Shipping costs decreased. Trade increased. The canal became one of the most important shipping routes in the world. The canal connected the Atlantic world with the Pacific world. The canal enabled global trade. The canal is still one of the most important shipping routes today. Thousands of ships pass through the canal every year. The canal handles almost 6% of the world's trade. The canal also had political significance. The United States controlled the canal. The canal gave the United States significant power over world trade. The canal gave the United States military advantage. The United States Navy could move from the Atlantic to the Pacific without sailing around South America. This was strategically important. The canal also became a symbol of American engineering prowess. The canal demonstrated American technological capability. The canal showed that America was a modern, advanced nation. The construction of the Panama Canal required overcoming incredible obstacles. The workers had to overcome tropical disease. They had to overcome engineering challenges. They had to overcome logistical challenges. They had to overcome political challenges. They had to overcome geographical challenges. The canal could not have been built at an earlier time. The technology was not available. The medical knowledge was not available. The engineering knowledge was not available. But by 1914, all these pieces came together. The Panama Canal was built. The canal transformed world trade and connected the two great oceans. The Panama Canal remains one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. The canal was built through sheer determination and innovative engineering over 3 decades of continuous struggle. The canal continues to be used by thousands of ships every year, making it one of the most crucial shipping routes in the world. The canal remains vital to world trade and has become even more important in the modern era of globalization and international commerce. The construction of the canal faced numerous obstacles that seemed insurmountable. The tropical diseases were devastating. Over 22,000 workers died during the French attempt,
and thousands more died during American construction. The engineering challenges were extraordinary. The lock system had to be designed from scratch because nothing like it had ever been built before. The engineers had to invent new techniques and new equipment. They had to solve problems that no engineer had ever encountered. They had to persevere through failure and setback. The workers who built the canal came from around the world. They were Americans, Jamaicans, Colombians, Spaniards, Chinese, and many other nationalities. They worked in terrible conditions. They worked in extreme heat and humidity. They worked in mud and rain. They worked with dangerous equipment.
They worked knowing that disease could kill them at any moment, but they built the canal anyway. Their sacrifice and determination made the canal possible. The significance of the canal extended far beyond engineering. The canal had profound economic consequences. Shipping costs decreased dramatically. Trade between Atlantic and Pacific nations became much more feasible. The canal enabled globalization centuries before.